Hello and welcome back to Apostate Coalition. I am Rion, and we are a collaboration, news, information, education, and entertainment channel. Tonight, our worldly perspective book study is going to be passed over to our wonderful, beautiful Dr. Timewaster,
Thank you.
the best Bible conductor I have ever heard before.
Wow, that's
Truly.
such a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. Um, that that actually makes me feel really good. Thank you. No, welcome everybody. So we're gonna just do a brief recap of what we did last time, and then we'll jump into where we left off in chapter 2. But first, we want to just recap our introductions. We all know the beautiful Rion. Do you want to just say
Wow.
hello
Oh, sure.
and your
Absolutely.
authority on this book study that we're doing?
Oh, yes, authority. I love authority. Just my authority, nobody else's, my own. So I am a former Jehovah's Witness. I spent I don't know, 40 something years inside the cult. Left a little over 3 years ago, been educating myself about the Bible and trying to make sense of this wild and crazy world we live in. Yeah, that is my expertise. Knowing that I'm living in a wild and crazy world.
Yeah.
Well, at least your eyes are open.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I guess it's something.
How about Dobstopper?
Well, I am no authority. Please, I hate authority, so I have no
Mm-mm.
authority on anything. But I was raised Jehovah's Witness, and by the time I was 15 or so, I stopped believing in God after about a year-long process of questioning a lot of things. And that was 16 years ago that I came to terms with not believing a God exists. So I've had a lot of time to reflect on all of the questions that come after that acceptance. And there's a lot of them. And
Mm,
I'm pretty comfortable with the answers that I've come to on my own. So I'm willing to talk about all of it with anybody.
Well,
nice.
that's kind of what we're here for. We're getting all perspectives, and everyone here was Jehovah's Witness at one point in time. Myself, I was fourth generation born and raised, and been out for a really long time, but this is only now that I'm actually going to read any of these books. And
Yeah,
it's very different, remembering things differently, and then going, this is what I thought was impressive. Hmm,
right.
interesting. So
Yeah.
for me, it's just a little cathartic, you could say, to kind of go through this and give myself some reinforcement for those times where I have that imposter syndrome, where I feel that maybe I made a terrible mistake, and then I just read it. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yep.
And
and
give yourself
evolution is,
credit too
yeah,
for coming so far, right? Like I
yeah.
can't believe some of the beliefs I used to hold. Like, oh, embarrassing.
And I did go to college, so I did take a severe amount of biology. I am a pharmacist by profession, so I had a lot of biology and chemistry. And so having to buckle down and focus and learn all these things, because I didn't, really learn all the basics when I was a Jehovah's Witness. I was in public school, so I did get a lot that, like, my cousins who were homeschooled did not get. And so it's
Right.
information that's building off of each other, and it just, science was always a nice stable thing for me to, like, ground myself in a world where you're constantly being told to believe in fairy tales. And so when you
Right.
want to figure out the world around you and figure out what is real and what isn't real, science was something that I could count on to be not a perfect thing, but at least a good guide to kind of help you rule and weed out really terrible things.
Right.
Because we can all be manipulated. None of us are special in that kind of way. Some of us can just, it takes more effort to manipulate them, right? And so you need to come up with a system that helps you fish out bullshit, right? Your baloney detector. What's in your kit to weed that out? And so this is all just all part of that bigger picture of me reinforcing my tools that I use on a daily basis to interpret the world around me, the universe around me, and make good decisions as best I can. So that's what this is for me. No biggie though. This
It's
isn't
awesome.
important. And Tyler Rickshaw is also with us today, but he will be joining us as soon as he can.
Very
He's
shortly.
late. He's a
We
bad
can-
Bible study.
I know, like look at all these late
Honestly.
people. You're
All
all
the Jehovah's Witnesses came to
in the
preach to
front
him today.
row.
He's
They're
not
going to
even here
make
to
a
listen to
drama
us.
about him being a bad Bible study. We're going to have to think about dropping him. Is it
Yep.
really worth it to continue the Bible study with Tyler? Will it be fruitful?
We could have a whole other after hour section about the horrors of book studies, but let's save that for later. This is more fun.
I'm afraid he's a lost soul.
All right, well, let's go ahead and review where we left off, or do just kind of a brief backup of where we were. So we kind of had to leave off in the middle of the, well, close to the end of the chapter. Chapter 2 was originally, what was the title? Shoot, I gotta go back. There it is. Oh. Disagreements about evolution. Why?
Why? ¿Por qué?
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué? Why?
So we are getting into the portion where this is, I mean, if we look at this as a form of an argument, the authors of this book are posing an argument to where I think we can all pretty easily declare they are pro-creation, and they're going to show us all the reasons why we should be pro-creation. So we're going through this argument, and they're starting off with, already you shouldn't even bother learning about evolution because look how many people disagree about it.
Mm-hmm.
Too confusing. Too many people can't agree. Just don't bother learning about it.
Why bother?
But at no point in time in this chapter so far, I feel, have they really outlined in any kind of genuine way to tell you what evolution is or what the theory of evolution is. So we had a out of context quote where, what would you guys, how would you summarize this out of context quote here?
Which one?
The one from the was it
On the left there?
They actually took it out of his book of the theory of evolution, where it's basically like, you got me, this is too crazy. Oh, maybe it's a paragraph up. I'm reading my little,
Up
I'm sorry, I'm reading
down?
my side. You guys can't see. I'm crazy. Hold on.
No, that's okay.
Somebody tell me I'm being crazy sooner.
You're being crazy.
Thank you.
You're crazy. Crazy girl.
You're crazy girl. Okay.
Crazy girl.
Is it going to let me do it? Here we go. I think we own it. Can you see this?
There we go. Add to stage.
Me be dummy. Okay, so
Ooh, there
I'm
you
looking
go.
at this thing right here, which is just a couple, this is where we're at. And so I was just kind of scrolling up a little bit. This is my notes that I put here, which is the full context of a quote from Charles Darwin on evolution. But up here, they're quoting it. Or was it up here? Here it is. I'm sorry. This is what I'm talking about.
Wait, is that before chapter 2 starts or after? Oh,
No. This is all part of, I'm just backing up a little bit in chapter 2.
Gotcha.
Where they're taking quotes from Darwin's theory of evolution and basically making it sound like going, yeah, this is absurd and convoluted, and yeah, nobody should believe this. This is wacky. And then they just kind of leave it at that. But like there was so much more to his quote where he's like, however, if you take into account all of these variables, then it is possible.
To suppose that the eye ... And when you looked at what was in that dot
Yeah.
dot dot.
Yeah, all of this over here that I had clipped over. So anyway, we don't have to hash it out. This
I
is an
can't read.
example. What's that?
I said I can't read without getting extremely close to my eye.
That's okay. My point was that I just kind of wanted to backtrack a little bit on some of the disingenuous arguments and disagreements that they had, and let us not forget this classic 12 Angry Men.
Mm-hmm.
What did we say
That's a
this guy
hot
looked like?
picture.
One of these
Al
guys.
Franken.
Yes, that's the first one you notice. And then Burt Reynolds with glasses on the top left.
Yeah, that's definitely Burt Reynolds. For sure. Rip, bro, rip. We miss you.
That was the main two, I think.
I still think this is like the guy from Cheers.
Oh yeah.
Cliff.
Oh, I can't. Cliff.
Yeah.
Cliff Cleven.
Y'all are older than me. I hadn't really watched Cheers.
That's all right. You're not missing anything. It's fine. Okay. So we can just go ahead and jump right back into where we left off, but I just wanted to scroll back just a little bit so we kind of backed up to what we were a quick overview, but essentially we had a lot of disingenuous conversations that I feel like we'll see. I'm fine with whatever form of argument people want to use. But the problem is I'm going to hold them accountable to that same level of petty when it's their turn.
Ooh, right.
So chapter 3 is what I'd really like to get to, which is what the Jehovah's Witnesses, at least in 1985 through past 2006, was it? Which is when they re-released this book with, as far as I can tell, 0 changes other than the cover page.
Wow.
All of the references were the same, and they were all like from the 1960s. The newest reference in that updated 2006 version was from 1984, talking about evolution. So let's all remember that as we go through, because they're going to talk about how unbelievable and how incomplete the information is. And that's their argument, is hinging on these things. And then we're going to go and look at what's going on in, the year 2023. So did you guys want to read some of the paragraphs, or you guys just want to jump right into getting through this disingenuousness?
I say we jump in.
You want to read?
Oh, no. I don't want to read nothing. I'm against reading.
So, oh no. That was so He was like, oh no. Hell
No reading.
Should we not read any of it out loud? Because it is kind of painful after a while to listen to, but.
Yeah, I don't think we should just sit here and read the paragraph or nothing.
Okay. Well, 17 is a pretty short paragraph, and if I have it
zoomed in, we can do one here and there. I mean, where's it at? 17?
17. So you
Newer
guys can all read my sarcastic comments on the side. Newer theories. So the question is, how did Science Digest comment on the newer theories? So it's only 2 sentences. I'll just read the whole chapter or paragraph. All of this has led many scientists to champion novel theories for evolution. Science Digest put it this way: some scientists are proposing even more rapid evolutionary changes and are now dealing quite seriously with ideas once popularized only in fiction.
Only in fiction.
Well, if an idea has previously only been in fiction, then that means it must always remain in fiction. There's no point that fiction can ever become fact. Right?
So what's the answer?
Dumbfounded.
What? Okay. I'm just
the answer to the question is just the last 2 sentences that were
right. I know,
but
I'm like, I don't know what the point of this is, though.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
supposed to
I
be a
don't
point.
understand either.
And
How
they
did
are
Science Digest comment on the newer theories? Science Digest put it this way.
I guess the
so
point
They're
is that
dealing
it's
with
fiction.
ideas that are popularized in fiction. So basically
Yes.
it's all just made up in movies is that's what they're trying to draw our attention to. That's what Science Digest says. They probably took like a small quote where like they're saying now that once we thought was possible in movies we can actually do, and they're just taking the I can't stand
I
it.
gotta say, I don't think I'm ready to answer that question. Maybe we should move on.
Yeah. Oh, that's so hard. That was really hard. That's
I've
really
lost
hard.
the plot. So as an argument goes,
Right.
this was a great. I mean, this was a total waste of our time. We gained no knowledge.
I
I feel
We really
stupider,
learned
quite
nothing.
frankly. I feel more dumb after trying to answer that question.
hope they changed that
Thanks for that.
question in the updated version. I bet they
Right.
did not, though.
I don't think I didn't really see much of anything. Some of the pictures were different, but like that's anyway.
Like, how are you? Like, this is my thing here. Just like imagine you're at and they ask that question. It's like you just read a paragraph that is that small, and the answer is literally
The
what there's
majority of the paragraph.
exactly like. It's so painful.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm gonna move on. I don't even know if I want to read the chapters anymore. This is what I'm talking about.
We're getting disgusted. I have so much
Punishment.
contempt right now.
How dare we? This convoluted language. Ugh. Okay. 18. What difficulty is there with the more recent theory that life began in outer space?
Well, they concluded that it was panspermia, which is that life originated in space and then went to our planet, according to chapter 18.
Yeah.
So I don't know what.
Down to Earth. It floated down. Did you know that it?
Yeah, it floated down to Earth. Originated in outer space and floated down.
Is that
That's
how
how.
that works? Is
That's how
that
physics
gravity,
works.
or is that?
So I mean,
That's relativity, is what it is.
I get this part here where they're saying like instead speculating it must have originated from outer space and flowed down to Earth or whatever, but pushes the problem. Is like they're saying this is just kicking the can down the road of okay, but then where did that life come from, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But then where did God come from and who created God? And then they always just say
Well, God's always been there.
God's always been there. Well, maybe the universe has always been there. Maybe life has always been here. I don't know. What's
How
stupid?
about that?
Like, I think my
Well,
theory.
it's just common sense that that's not what happened. That's what I always do.
It's like duh.
Common sense.
I did think the words they chose because I don't think they're quoting anybody here. This is their words, right?
No, it doesn't look like there's any. They're just
I don't see a quote anywhere. So this is them saying
the
it just
rhetoric.
floated down to outer space and landed
Right.
on this
Like who
planet.
would say floated down?
Yeah, not only that, but there's like, I don't know how
not
to
even
check
smart,
the
I wouldn't.
source. I don't know how to check their source for that because I know there's tons of resources in the back, but
Oh no, they wrote it. That's what I'm saying. There's no
source
if
for
they're
like
not
which
quoting
scientists.
something, then this is their language. The authors chose these words.
Gotcha.
I mean, they chose all the words, but you know what I mean. Like this
Yep.
is their original words.
I love how they put the perils confronting life in the hostile environment of outer space are well known.
And they are.
Oh my
They're
god!
well known.
I mean,
Sure. They're
as
saying
far as we know.
hostile everywhere. Life is hostile,
Yeah.
right? Like
and I guess
life
it
is
depends
violent.
on what you consider like life and what I mean.
To be
There's so
fair,
many
we only
variables here.
we only have one sample for life. So life might be different than what we know of on
Oh,
Earth, but we
I
don't know.
think we gotta.
I mean, on other planets if they exist.
Yeah, yeah, life could be
Welcome
totally
back.
We
different.
are
It might
the
not
end of one.
the end of one.
The N, like the statistical numerical, like your sample
Oh,
size. We are the
yes,
sample size of one.
correct.
So
Ain't that the
not a
truth?
great sample size. What's that?
Ain't that the truth?
Welcome back, brother
Welcome back.
Rickshaw.
I'm back.
Oh,
Thanks for
Satan.
interrupting all of book study for you to squeeze through that aisle and sit your butt in the only empty seat.
Right.
Satan tried to stop me, but
He does that.
I got here on time. You know, what I miss? Nothing but the good word I speak.
A whole lot.
Well, maybe we should ask him the question for number 17. See if he's I literally wrote this. I wrote it's a pointless question.
Yeah.
How did Science Digest comment on the newer theory? Same question as the last one.
It's this one.
Same question. It's the same question. It's
How
the
did this source? What did this source think about that, huh?
same question.
Dot.
They have a magazine. It was on the internet. Facebook said so. One Facebook user said this.
Oh gosh.
Sorry.
That's their kind of.
My source is
411.
Twitter.
Yeah.
that's the
Thanks
number
for
one
your-
source I use besides TikTok.
This is where my source come from.
I'll stop ranting. Okay.
God,
Yeah.
the Almighty Jehovah.
TikTok is where I learned that God is a lie. That's where I learned that. I just
So
believe the first person that I heard say it.
I guess my answer to number 18. So we already asked 18, but we can ask it again since we made you do 17. What difficulty is there with more recent theory that life began in outer space?
Well, just because it's perilous out there. I think it's stupid to even ask the question. We just know how perilous it is, so shut up about it. Stop asking. Oh, brother.
Difficulties.
Yeah,
It's too
Well-
difficult.
their answer is that saying that life came from outer space is kicking the can down the road for, well, then where did that life come from? And where did that life come from? God.
Right.
But then where did that life come from?
This is just
So
magic.
is this like
Is
the
it-
religion version of the God of the Gaps? It's like, oh, every single time you don't know an answer, you're just
You just
avoiding
put
God.
God in there.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, you're stupid for not putting God in there.
Or
Yeah.
it still ends to the same answer, which is my God did it.
Right. Oh,
Mine
yeah, for
did,
sure
but-
that.
Mine did. Y'all's didn't.
Yours
Well,
is
good. Then
better
we'll
than
just
mine.
blame your God for all our problems.
Yeah.
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 That's free will right there for you. Ain't
Sorry.
got nothing to do with that.
Apparently, my answer to the question was God is an alien spreading life in the universe. Does that sound better? Does
With
that-
his magic wand,
That sounds
magic
like
wand.
that sounds like
jerking
Guardians of
it
the
in
Galaxy.
space.
What's that? It sounds like what?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians?
Of the Galaxy too.
Guardians
I
of
mean,
the Galaxy 2?
It is, kind of, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of what he did. Didn't he like jerk
Yes.
off into space,
In this space jelly.
create planets and stuff, and then
I only saw it once. I
and
don't
ate
remember.
those planets or something, the jizz or whatever,
Space jelly.
and it.
I believe Dobstopper had the official scientific term for it.
Wait, the official scientific term for what now?
Spreading your sperm all over the universe.
Oh, panspermia?
There you
That's
go.
right.
Which is what that theory is actually called.
Yep.
Is it really?
Panspermia.
And let's
Panspermia.
let's pause and look at this for a second. So
The theory of panspermia is just that life came from somewhere else and then spread to here and or elsewhere.
When they started this section of newer theories, they stopped talking about evolution, and now we're talking about panspermia, which is in no way explaining evolution and is no way explains how life diversified on this planet. That's what the theory of evolution is doing, is it's saying, okay, however life started, right? We know life started, so however it started, this is how we explain how it diversified into all the animals we see, right? They've then pivoted from that and said, this is a moot argument because where did it come from then? They're kicking the can down the road by saying, don't even learn about evolution because we've already stopped talking about it. And we're talking about panspermia now, because now we're going to go down the rabbit hole of, well, where did that start? And where did that start? So they're kicking the can down the road, and then they're saying that it's science's fault. I don't know. We shouldn't do science, is what I'm getting. So
It's too difficult. It's perilous. You don't want to even mess with it. And yeah, I think Jehovah was a space alien just jerking it up there, and it just kind of must have landed on something good and
I
gooey.
wish it was that cool.
That would be super dope, though, right?
I'm willing to accept. I'm honestly willing to accept anything if you can prove it to be true.
Right?
If you say I'm just a pile of Jesus jizz, then hey,
no,
I'm rocking.
I'm rocking.
Jesus jizz.
I wouldn't mind being a pile of Jesus jizz.
So Jay in the comments asked if like aliens exist, or I guess do we believe aliens exist? Because obviously none of us have that answer, right?
Right.
But I would argue that everybody who believes in God believes that aliens exist, because God is by definition not from this planet, and therefore an alien.
Right.
Because that's
we're
all
terrestrial because we're from here, right?
Terrestrial
That's what
means this planet. We've all evolved on this planet. We're all from here.
Even if like we're just like to get to the question that he really seems to be asking, is there life elsewhere in the universe? I mean, nobody knows, but my guess is probably, because for sure life is in the universe once. So that leads me to believe, as vast as the universe is, that it probably is out there again.
We can't see Tyler's face.
I was just looking at that.
Oh, sorry. Oopies. Whoopsies. We just like not here no more. You're not allowed to be seen on screen. Sorry.
I was cool hiding behind that.
My bad. I'm so sorry.
I know, that's why I removed it.
Hey, thanks.
Make you suffer.
Timewaster. I was fine being hidden behind that comment.
There'll be more, don't worry.
More to hide.
Now answer the question.
What's the question?
Do you believe aliens exist?
Oh, do I believe in aliens exist?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would like to. I do have a memory of seeing a spaceship, but I don't know how accurate that memory can possibly be, because there was a lot going on when I seen it. Mind you, I was in the woods.
I think I went to school with that guy.
It was hot. Earlier today, we were slightly dehydrated. So I don't know, man. I was tired. I ain't bathed in like 3-4 days, and I just looked up and I saw something. I don't know. And nobody else saw it, and it was right around me, so I assumed it was just me being crazy. Because
did it look like that?
Huh?
Did it look like this guy?
Oh no, it's like a big. How are you looking at that one from Independence Day?
X-Files, you mean?
X-Files, Independence Day.
I forget. That was such a good movie, but I forget what they look like. They didn't look good.
I mean, it's a stereotypical alien head.
There we go.
There's a lot of people that look like that where I live in Arkansas.
Oh man.
Those Arkansasians.
All right, Dobstopper. 19 and 20 is what new theory are some evolutionists promoting?
None.
Something stupid called punctuated equilibrium,
Oh,
which is that species maintain their equilibrium. They stay much the same, but every once in a while there is a punctuation or a big jump to evolve into something else, kind of like a Pokemon.
Is that how it works?
Well, I don't like
You
how they
gotta
say.
catch 'em all.
I don't like how they say promoting. Like, ain't nobody promoting this stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. Promoting.
You barely even hear this stuff anywhere. You know, promote. You barely hear this stuff. Too boring to be. You don't want to hear this. Like they talk promoting. Stop. People barely know about this stuff. I didn't believe, and I didn't know anything about this. And I still don't believe, and this is just almost as boring.
Everything is some kind of conspiracy against them. Oh, they're promoting something.
Yes.
They're promoting LGBTQ,
If-
LMNO, FOP stuff. Those
If I-
sickos.
all the things that go against
Pineapple on
God.
pizza.
what's that?
Pineapple on pizza.
Oh.
Mm.
So, yeah.
I see how y'all feel.
I am a fan of pineapple on pizza. Just let you know.
Oh yeah, I'll eat anything on pizza.
Hmm.
Okay, so I looked up the Oxford Dictionary, of punctuated equilibrium. It's the hypothesis that evolutionary development is marked by isolated episodes of rapid speciation between long periods of little or no change. And then I pulled this off of Wikipedia about it. Okay, so what was the question again? What new theory are some evolutionists promoting? Okay.
Right.
We ain't gonna win.
So I made a comment here on the very first sentence of paragraph 19 is, since the fossil record does not show a gradual development of life from one type into another, some evolutionists theorize that the process must have happened by jerks and starts, not at a steady pace.
Jerks and
Jerks and starts.
The fuck are you talking about? Jerks and
Oh, the edge in the universe or something?
Right, edgelord. My goodness.
That's the process that keeps me going too.
Get you, right up there.
So like,
we ain't gonna win. They got us beat. They got it. Like, I'm just looking at this like, man, look at all this. They gonna win. Because they'll say whatever. Look at you.
Yeah.
There's no bottom for them. They
Yeah.
just go.
Look at that. Look at all the line and the effort and thought you put into this. They rapidly putting this out. This is the old version. What a new one that.
Of this book?
Yeah.
Were you not listening? Oh, you weren't here. Okay, never
He
They
wasn't here
redid it
for
in
the intro.
2006. It's exactly the same. They didn't change a single source or quote.
Yeah. If it ain't
They
broken,
might have changed some of the pictures, but everything
if it
was
ain't broken.
The Holy
it
Spirit
worked.
moves you to press the like button. Rub it really good.
It is easier for those who press the like button to enter heaven than anybody else.
So I just like, I don't. At what point did they demonstrate this? Like, I think what we're gonna find is they're talking about slow changes, jerks and starts changes, drastic changes, no change. Gosh, evolutionists, why don't you make up your mind? Which way is it? Okay, but it's all of the above.
We're so stupid.
The above. Things are happening across the world. Things are evolving today, and it's happening all over the place, but in different pockets for different reasons, at different paces for everything, depending on, say it with me, natural selection pressures. So Like some things will go slow. We have crocodiles in the fossil record for a really long time, but then we can see finches on the Galapagos Island evolving in real time, like in generations of our lifetimes. So like it can happen on multiple levels. It doesn't have to be all or one. It's all probably happening in pockets and bubbles. That's how time moves forward in space, right? Like,
Yeah.
not even. There's no equilibrium, right? Nothing is perfectly even all the time. If we reach
Right.
equilibrium in our cells, we are dead. If we reach equilibrium in the universe, it's done. There's no more universe, right? Equilibrium, bad for life. Bad. Okay, I'm done now. Okay, I just want to say that we can move on. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to say?
I don't think so.
We can move on.
Okay,
Uh-uh.
sounds good.
Uh-uh.
We're gonna move on. We don't need to linger.
I don't even know we should. I crossed this one this totally out, so I don't know what
See, that's
happened.
that's the problem. We're lingering. They're not.
Regardless of which theory of evolution is accepted, what evidence should exist? This is a great question.
But don't nobody know none of that. If you already in the church, you're not gonna know nothing about this. So what are you telling these people? These people ain't they don't know nothing about that.
Oh,
Us secular
evidence.
people don't know nothing. Us
What,
secular
there
people
shouldn't
don't
be
know
any
nothing about
gaps?
that.
Is that what they're trying to say? There
Yeah.
should be no gaps.
In chapter 21, it says at least some evidence to show that one kind of life turns into another kind. Whatever a kind is, but we'll get to that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And why does it say another kind? Nobody said it turns into another
This is
kind.
Genesis talking.
Like
This is them
Right.
using the term
they're making a
kind
huge
in
leap.
Genesis and applying it to the science.
Yeah. But why would they say another kind? That's not what we're saying.
Because I've never seen a fish turn into a monkey.
Because
And that's two different kinds.
That's not what we are saying even happens, you ninnies.
Well, that's what they think.
Somebody been watching Lost in Space 1965.
Was that you?
Did you say pigs in space?
Lost in Space.
Oh,
Ninny. Well, never mind that.
ninny.
That's what Dr. Smith says about you ninny.
You ninny.
By the way, this this little piece that's blocked because I screenshotted something there. What it says is new theories contradict what has been accepted for many decades.
Okay.
It's like they
Are you
don't.
shocked? I mean,
It's because they're operating so on wanting to have the answer versus figure out the answer. So they're assuming if somebody says something, well, for the sake of them, a science person says something, they're like, oh, so that's what it is. And they don't think that. No, we're saying as far as we know. I mean, like, no, you said it.
Yeah.
Like it has to be the 100% answer, hands down. And if it's not, then it's just like, oh, you're an idiot. And this answer's better. God of the gaps works best.
right, but that's not what science does, right? Like, what's the goal of
hash
science?
it out?
Is it to accept the first answer that we find that we think fits, and then stop asking the questions?
Compare the evidence, man.
Shut everyone down.
The goal of science is to disprove God.
What?
I mean, that's what I don't think that's the goal of the scientists who work in science, but that is the fear that the Christians or the theists have about science, is that it will disprove their God.
Right.
It puts the fear of God in them.
They have often worried about that, and that's why they killed Galileo or tried him.
Oh man, not my boy Galileo.
So many brilliant minds they've wiped out books that they burned simply because they like. I can't just I like it just boggles my mind that
I miss them.
we regressed in time. Like we had like a dark period because of these mother effers. Sadistic.
Hmm.
Yeah. I actually think this is a great question because what they've done by saying, regardless of which theory of which theory of evolution, is that what they're asking?
Yeah. Which theory of evolution is accepted? So
What
they're
evidence?
they're
Okay.
suggesting
Because
that
there's
there are
just
multiple
so
theories.
many
Okay.
of them. There's just so
So
many of them.
let's take a look at this then and look at the Genesis theory, which is the next chapter coming up, and they're going to make their arguments why that's the better creation life, how did it get here theory, right?
It's
That's
the
what all
Mhm.
better. It's the better told version. It sounds cooler. Like, oh wow, like it just.
does
You
it.
mean
Have
no?
you
I
read
do.
that?
Doesn't it?
I mean
Yeah.
like just. I'm talking about from like an entertainment standpoint. Like if I was like, oh, I love to see a movie about this. I would sit and enjoy it, but to apply it to my real life, that's what it gets weird for me.
Yeah. It's a very ordered kind of I don't know. I kind of feel like it is a little bit boring compared to other creation myths. Like they have
I
like
could think of
somebody got
much
swallowed
more
by
creative.
somebody and jerk something off and something like that's the
Jerk
kind
and
of stuff
start
where I'm like,
theory.
now that's cinematic. I can get down with that. But just like,
Um.
okay, there
Well,
was a sun, there
well, then
was a
again, the
moon,
way
there was a
y'all,
sky, there was a
the way
We're gonna get to that.
Jehovah Witnesses are born, so they never really tell it excitingly. It sounds
Yeah.
better. It sounds
They
better in the
take the joy
Baptist.
out of
It
everything.
sounds better in the Baptist church.
Yeah.
Well,
And let
see
there be
that
light.
you're not going to church for the right reason, Brother Rickshaw.
Who,
You're
me?
supposed you're supposed to be there to praise the Lord, not to be
Yes, you.
entertained.
He's definitely not been going to church for the right reasons.
Exactly.
Galileo, let me go.
I'm going. I
No,
go to church to
no,
get
no,
entertained.
no.
I still think that this question, though, regardless of which theory, what evidence should we see that exists? And I think that's a valid question because that goes back to what I was saying earlier, which is like, what are the tools that we're using to determine what we're experiencing in reality is what's
Hmm.
real, what's true,
Man, fish,
what is truth, what's a
man,
manfish,
fish.
So I mean,
manfish.
they kind of
Jonah?
give an answer that is somewhat logical. That one kind of life turns into another kind, and obviously, there's no such thing as a kind. But
There's a two of a kind.
what they're asking can be shown. So they say, well, we don't have transitional fossils. Well, we do. The only thing is just every single time we find a transitional fossil, they say that's just a different animal. Uh, you have to find a transition between that animal and humans or whatever animal we're talking about. And then we'll find a transition between those two. And they'll say, well, that's just another animal again. So
Yeah, I have
They've
there's,
the
moved the
link to that
goalposts.
Futurama clip in
Oh
here
yeah, do you want to
somewhere.
play it?
oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
We don't
I
have to, but
don't have it lined up or anything. I'm just saying I
okay.
have it saved somewhere. Yeah.
Copyright infringement.
Oh, that's true. There probably would be a copyright
Oh yeah,
infringement
that.
if we showed it.
Mm.
We could show a picture, but yeah, it's basically that one where they just keep popping up the next one. He's like, oh well, there's got to be one in between. They're like, yeah, here it is.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So here's what I wrote for the evidence that should exist, because I think we should be able to apply this really to the Genesis theories as well. Where we should see evidence that all the kingdom phyla that we can observe have characteristics and DNA that show repeatedness and changes that within a period of time plus pressure will have a change that occurs. And then when we're talking about the fossil records, they'll show morphology similarities, the genetic inheritance versus mutational changes, the observations of the microevolution changes on a shorter lifespan of species, and then the concept of large scale of billions of years, so that time frame that's very hard for us to
Mm.
comprehend. And then you stretch that out over time. So the things that we can observe here on this earth today are things that show bits and clips of what probably, if you stretch that out by billions of years, things can change. And so then we're trying to say, well, if that were true, what would the fossil record look like? And so that's how a lot of these things are being looked at. And that's what we should be seeing. So we should also be seeing this stuff reflected by what is described in the book of Genesis. So we're going to try and do that.
Ooh.
Ain't
Can't
that the
wait.
truth, sister? Preach.
Mhm.
If you
I just wanna
click
hold
on the
everybody
top
accountable.
left there, I think it'll make your screen bigger. That top left little icon.
Are
I
you
think
doing
it'll
this?
take away the sidebar, either that one or the one. There we go. Then you can make it just a scotch. There you go.
That better? Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so it's a little more.
All right. The next
legible.
one, we might want to show yours because I clearly covered it all up because I was so annoyed by the words that they wrote. How has Darwin's idea of survival of the fittest been challenged in recent times? And so what I decided to do is just put the question into Chat GPT. So if anybody
You can't
wants,
trust Satan.
the answer is 42.
It is.
That's
I
Satan
agree.
GTPT.
It probably will.
So yeah, I cover, this is a PDF, so I can't move it.
Oh, here
but
I can. There we go. I added mine to the stage. There. Where were we at? Did we do 22 and 23?
Yeah, well, we're on, that's the question we're on, is 22, 23, which is how has Darwin's idea of survival of the fittest been challenged in recent times? And then they're going to find people that disagree somehow, right?
Of course
Dobstopper.
they
It look
are.
like, boy, you look like you really taking in the word.
I am reading to find the answer
Like
to
you
this
like-
question.
Because you didn't study ahead of time.
Nope.
Mhm.
You
Bro,
guys want me to-
Dobstopper.
The fit. I like when they start putting like stuff in quotation marks. The
it's
fit
true.
ones
It is.
Yeah,
may
I
have
know.
survived, but that doesn't explain how they arrived.
Dude, the way that they worded all of this is just so
I'm kind of.
backwards.
I'm just looking at y'all different because y'all fell for it.
One
They're
line
saying
might be fitter than another line, but that doesn't explain how he got to be a lion. So profound. Oh
They're
my
saying
God,
that-
you got me.
in here they're saying that Darwin's original idea about survival of the fittest is the same thing as natural selection, which is just I'm in a biology course right now, and I mean I don't even know how to respond to this based on what I know.
That's how it
Yeah,
started.
this is pretty.
That's the origin of life right there. Go back to that comment. That's the origin of life.
Oh, what, the dong, the banana dong?
Yeah, right there. That's how we came to be.
Man giving the
Behind
monkey a
us.
banana dong. Yeah, it's right behind us. Quite. Yeah. Oh shit.
Well, do you want to hear what Chat GPT had to say about it?
Oh, absolutely.
Should I
Oh,
add that
cool.
back?
Okay.
This is ChatGPT is my god.
I put this same question into
I'd rather.
ChatGPT. Charles Darwin's idea of survival of the fittest has been challenged in recent times by a variety of perspectives. One of the main challenges is that it is often seen as oversimplifying the complexity of evolution and natural selection. Some scientists argue that cooperation and mutual aid are also important factors in the survival and reproduction of species. Additionally, the concept of fitness has been expanded to include not just physical fitness, but also social and cultural adaptations. Another challenge to Darwin's idea is that it has been used to justify harmful social and political ideologies, such as eugenics and racism. Yay!
Love those.
Many scientists, some scientists say, many scientists and scholars now argue, shocking, that the concept of survival of the fittest should be understood and used within the context of specific ecological and social context and not as general principle. Finally, some researchers have argued that Darwin's idea of survival of the fittest, as it is traditionally understood, is not supported by the available scientific evidence. For example, some studies have shown that group living, cooperation, and altruism are common in many species, and that these behaviors can increase the political ideologies such as eugenics and racism. Where have we seen that? Many scientists and scholars now argue that the concept of survival of the fittest should be understood. Oh, did I read this part?
Yeah, I feel like you did.
Yo, sorry. Where'd I go wrong here?
Oh, increase the overall
cut it
fitness
off.
of the group.
Tell me more.
It was just at the end of that.
Oh, I see.
Tell me more.
Oh,
Tell me more about it.
what did I get? Like 2 seconds? All right, well, we got this. Anyway, you want to know more? Tell me more. Anyway, what do you guys think of that answer? Is that more satisfying than the one the book gave?
Actually, I'd rather the Jehovah Witness answer.
You prefer it. That's
Yeah,
the
I
Holy
mean,
Spirit
it didn't make
coming unto you.
it didn't make much sense, but it was short and sweet.
Yeah, I can understand. I can emphasize that.
Digestible, which
That
is
was
more important.
ChatGPT, all right? Like, he's learning. He's learning.
Which one did you use 4 or use 3?
What?
You don't know.
I don't know.
ChatGPT.
I don't know things. I just
It
do things.
evolves.
Oh, right. It's 4 right now as the...
They're about to do a newer one.
Are they?
Yeah.
Wowsies.
It's kind of got, I don't want to get off hand all that. We keep talking about Jehovah. I just gotta say, it was like, oh snap! Now it's like I don't care anymore. You're not impressive. Oh, you can write a cover letter. But anyway, back to Jehovah.
Yeah, let's get back to Jehovah.
I'm just reading ahead here a
Yeah.
little bit to
Tell
the
us
next
about
question.
fact or theories.
Slow down, brother.
And I was under fact and theory. In that paragraph, it says genes are a powerful stabilizing mechanism whose main function is to prevent new forms evolving. And that just makes me think about what I'm learning in biology right now at this very moment, which is about genes and about chromosomes and about ways that diversity of life occur. So I could go get my lab manual right now and compare whatever they say about genes and the prevention of anything evolving to what's in my lab manual.
You could. I've just never heard anyone ever define or describe genes in such a manner as
That they
stabilizing
prevent new
mechanisms
forms evolving.
Yeah,
Who
that is-
says?
to
Who
prevent them,
says?
to prevent
Well,
new
what about
forms.
cancer? I don't understand what they mean. That doesn't
Well-
make sense to me.
To be fair, though, have you people actually wore those jeans that Jehovah has?
They're tight
jeans.
pants.
Do you have the definition of what a gene is written down, Timewaster? I can't read from my
Sorry,
phone.
what'd you say? What was your question?
Do you
Definition
have
of genes.
of gene?
Oh,
Genes.
I'm just reading what theirs says. What?
Okay. If I remember, if I'm going to get this question right on my test, I think it's instructions on how to make a protein that is within a DNA string.
I know how to make a protein
I don't
shake.
think it has anything to do with preventing forms from evolving.
Yeah. So when you get down to like, what is a gene? How
Not that
do
kind of
genes
protein shake.
transcribe? What are genes made of? And what happens when a gene is,
God.
making something? Like, and how does that even make things? There's proteins and enzymes that already exist that then stimulate the unzipping and rezipping of DNA molecules in order to transcribe code. And
Man.
transcribing code
We
is
gotta find.
full of errors.
We gotta
I know,
find.
it's boring.
We got. I was sitting there thinking about like There was probably think somebody back in the day said, "Man, we got to find a way to explain this more entertainingly than they than they than they did." But then it went wrong because
It
It
went
went
wrong.
really wrong.
For real.
I was sitting there thinking the whole time, saying like, "Dang, Doctor Timewaster, you got to
I
find a
know what
more
jeans are made
entertaining.
of.
Tell us this."
The
Oh,
universe agreed that that was a bad move.
Bad, bad,
I
bad.
don't know how to make it more entertaining for you. I'm not an entertainer.
You gotta cut out some parts, change a little bit, man.
That's fine, but you're not
Ela-
getting. I didn't
elaborate,
polish
elaborate.
this turd over here. All right,
You
this
say
is
you say
flowing.
you talking about evolution and transitional. Who cares about all that? Just say mud and something, and they'll get to them. They'll get it. They'll get it.
Just make
They'll
some
get
stuff
the truth.
up. They'll believe
Yeah,
it.
they'll get it.
Yeah, I know anybody who would fall for this would probably prefer me to use mud and just
It
they'll
sounds better,
believe it, but
especially
I don't.
yeah,
I don't want to insult people and making them think that that's
we ain't gonna win.
the only way to understand it. You just have to be interested. That's all.
I saw
I think we
some.
should insult people.
I ain't gonna say that.
I'm only good at insulting people when I don't realize I've insulted them, and then usually it's like really mean.
Yeah, that's when it's real bad.
My bad.
You zip and unzip.
Crushed people's souls because I oops.
Didn't mean to hurt your feelings. What did I?
Oh, you look so good today.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, it's like the first time they just like put on glasses.
Did we? What did we actually read the question for 24 and 25, or just?
I don't remember. I don't.
What are
think-
some areas in which evolution has not met the standards of being an established fact?
Oh,
Boys came out with the big guns.
they did.
Some areas.
What are
Oh, I
some of
guess
the
it's the-
areas in which the story of the Book of Genesis has not met the standard of being an established fact? I like that question better.
Mm-hmm.
See how easy it is to just flip it around? We're going to get to the next section and they're like, isn't it amazing?
Yep.
In line with what an evolutionist said about the modern theory, how could it be regarded? What evolution?
come?
Who are you talking about?
I don't why can't random step-by-step mutations at the molecular level not explain, like, says who? Prove it. I mean, I'm not saying that's what it is, but they offer no substance to their answers.
Well, look how many people they got.
Oof. More than me. I need to start a cult.
Man, it's remarkable what they're doing.
Remarkable what
Oh,
the Spirit
oh.
of the Lord can do.
The answer they want is that it could, as far as what an evolutionist said about the modern theory, how could it be regarded? The guy said it's so inadequate that it deserves to be treated as a matter of faith. That's what the guy
Oh,
said.
wow.
Who
It's
did that?
so inadequate.
And
It
that's just a
deserves-
dumb way to think about any scientific things, right? Faith, let's throw that out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I agree. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to leave anything
If
on
we
faith.
can't figure it out, like, I think we should just put God there. That just makes a lot more sense to me. Might as well. You can't get your dick up. It's probably God. Don't know why, but it probably is just God.
So I wanted, here's maybe something more up your alley, Tyler, because I'm boring and my words are, he's not even paying attention. That's fine. But this is basically a quick diagram of how the theory of evolution has evolved into a lot more based like a more detailed theory, because we have more and more evidence. We have a lot more of the fossil record. We have a lot more understanding about how genetics works. We have I think I looked it up in the Human Genome Project, where they catalog the entire genome, that started in 2005. So they knew that was going on when they republished this book in 2006 and still kept all the stuff in.
I mean,
Maybe that's why. Maybe they were trying to get that in before that would come out, just so that way they kind of have to avoid even mentioning it. I don't know.
Evolution has evolved. Language evolves. Everything evolves when you think about it.
Right.
Nothing stays the same. But this is it: variation, inheritance, selection, and time. And then this is how we've progressed in the knowledge and understanding of how things work. And you notice, like, the basic elements are still there. He had a good skeleton idea of what it was,
Right.
but
what
he
am I
didn't
looking at
have
here?
all the information. Sorry, go ahead.
What am I looking at here?
You're looking at the least boring way I can teach you about evolution.
I mean, like, I don't think it's. Hey,
Pretty colors.
man, it just. Man, you could just.
Okay, so next time we come back.
Ugh.
Yeah, so Tyler is an artist, and he is going to draw and make evolution much more enjoyable. He's gonna make an animation about evolution and how
Wow.
exciting it is. Right?
Wow.
This is news to me. I didn't know he was doing
He
that.
said,
Way to go, Tyler.
Put me out on the. Put me out on the blast.
For your kids, man. Do it for your kids.
"Don't you want to explain to them how the universe came to be? Come on."
In an entertaining way.
Side eye.
I was looking at them thinking about. They don't care.
Yeah. There was something else they said over, and maybe it's in. Oh, I think I put this over here because they said in line with the modern theory, and I was just trying to show you the modern synthesis theory is this one in the middle. So there's more. We've learned more, but that was why I put that there. But there was something in, was it this chapter? Yes, they love to use the word Darwinism, which we kind of talked about. Let's see. If Darwinism is truly true, the great unifying principle of biology. Oh, is truly the great unifying principle of biology. It encompasses extraordinary large areas of ignorance. It fails to explain some of the most basic questions of all. How lifeless chemicals came alive, what rules of grammar lie behind the genetic code, and how genes shape and the form of living things. Yeah, okay. So I looked this up and I was like, if Darwinism is truly the great unifying principle of biology. But then I was like, what is unifying principle of biology? So then I went and looked it up, and then it was basically, there's lots of unifying principles of biology, and here's a few of them over here, such as the cell theory, gene theory, homeostasis, evolution, germ theory. Or did I say germ theory? No, gene. So, like, these are all theories. These are all parts of the unifying principles of biology. They all fit into biology. All biology really is the unique way that chemistry has become macromolecules and bigger things. So that's chemistry. We're still chemistry, right? We're still made up of molecules. So it's chemistry on a different scale, if that helps.
Well, I can't guarantee what I'm made out of, but if you say so.
Sorry, my notes are all over the place. I also have covered up some of the stuff. Sorry. We can switch to yours if you want.
Yeah, sure. Yep. I got it right here.
All right.
Yours aggravate me.
I do it just to annoy you.
All those, so many colors, lines everywhere. I don't know where to look.
I was bored.
I just literally just got through learning like the 20 amino acids that our body works with and all that stuff. So whenever you say like what am I made of, I'm just like going over, Oh, what's going to be on my test in a couple weeks?
See, this
That's
is great.
awesome, though.
It's
That's
helping.
good practice for you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for helping me, guys.
It's helping you study.
Yep.
This book study is going to be
Unstudy.
useful.
Yeah, I know it is.
You need to get you need to get a better study buddy. There's only one study buddy you need.
Who's that?
Jehovah.
Oh,
Yeah, you're learning
You're right.
quickly.
Yeah.
You really are. I can tell the spirit is with you.
yes.
Hmm
All right, what's next?
Is it 26? Where?
Yeah,
where are we?
yeah.
Why
Okay.
is it not reasonable to continue insisting that evolution is a fact?
That's a fancy way of saying
It's unreasonable to insist that evolution is a fact.
Let's see.
Why is it? What?
I think it's because
there's like a
there's too many contradictions and difficulties.
it's a leading question for sure.
And many scientists are just tempted to be dogmatic, Nothing's settled.
Oh, what it says in here. If any other theory had such enormous remaining difficulties, would it so readily be pronounced a fact? That is also a very difficult question to answer because facts and theories are not related, really.
And they're probably using some of these words interchangeable, which they aren't always. So it's hard to know exactly what their standard is for what the heck they're asking.
So it has enormous remaining difficulties, major contradictions among those who advocate it. And then they go, merely repeating that something is fact does not make it a fact.
I wish you would stick to that, mother effers.
Right, no kidding.
Can y'all remember that? Simply because you say it does not make it so. Boo.
And then I believe they took somebody out of context. What is this? John Durant.
The biologist.
Many scientists come to the temptation to be dogmatic. ...
Somebody looking up something.
Oh, I was trying to see if there was more to the quote that I could find, but I'm struggling to find it.
Well, I bet you used to hold Bible study up.
Yeah. Well, there's only one more question.
Oh.
But why is it unreasonable to think that evolution is a fact?
Yeah.
Well, because some guy somewhere said so. That's why.
Because that's not how we rock over here, Jehovah's Witness. We
Just
don't
because someone said so. Unless we say so, then it's true, and then it's a fact. But if somebody else says so.
The fact of evolution is different than the theory of evolution, which kind of complicates the way this is all worded. Because the theory of evolution is like a conglomerate of a ton of facts, and it explains how life diversifies. And the fact of evolution is just allele frequencies change over time. That's what the fact is, which it's different than the theory.
Yeah. Dan, that makes sense for me. If
They
I can't see it, it doesn't exist.
They put that little thing on the side over there that says, over and over again, the question of the origin of the species has been presented as if it were finally settled. Nothing could be further from the truth. But I'm thinking, that's what they're doing. They're saying that. But science doesn't say that. That's not what science is doing. Right. Science is saying, yeah, we have a huge piece of this puzzle about how life has changed on the earth, and we keep adding pieces to it. Is the puzzle ever going to be complete? No, probably not. and then we might find little pieces of it are in the wrong place, and we'll put them where they go as we get new things. That doesn't mean the whole puzzle should be thrown out, but that's what they're doing. That's what the creationists are saying, and that's what they're trying to do with their creation story.
Exactly.
Right.
They've just settled it themselves. They're
Hey.
like, well, look, we've settled it. There's too many guesses here, so here it's settled.
Hey,
God did it.
Hey, Jehovah Witnesses are solving a one-piece puzzle.
It's just one. It's just one edge piece. This is all it
No,
is.
it's a square piece of cardboard.
Yeah, done. And they calling it a puzzle.
Right. I love that. So easy. Make you feel smart too when you finish it. Hang that
I'm
up.
done.
But look, I completed that puzzle.
And macrame it, or macro. What am I trying
Macro shade it.
Macaroni? You mean macaroni? It?
Macaroni
like
in a
when
pot.
they
That's a
hodgepodge
lot.
when people do put a big puzzle together and then they like glue the back so
Oh.
they can hang it
Yeah.
on the wall.
Yeah, Mod
They're gonna
Podge,
do that with the
whatever it's
one
called.
piece puzzle.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
put glue on it.
Glue it to itself.
Make sure it don't fall
Proud.
apart.
So
All right.
proud. Look what I did.
What's the last question?
What other framework for evidence is there which offers a basis for understanding how life got here?
That is also a great question. Can you guys think of any other theories of how life got here?
Can I?
Nope,
How
just
can I
evolution.
Creation. Big
No,
Bang.
no.
God jizz.
I googled
Actually-
alternate theories to evolution.
We're de-evolving.
Oh,
Possible.
we're going back into God's penis.
I think that Zeus created everybody, and that he actually created everybody connected to their soulmate, but then got angry one day and split everybody from their soulmate. That's what I think happened.
Mm.
What a dick.
I know. I hate him for it.
Well, I didn't look all these up, but I have a list of things such as natural selection, creationism, although I don't know how that differs from theistic evolution. Oh, I guess because it's the snapping your fingers, waving the wand version versus God used evolution. Anyway, Lamarckism, genetic drift, orthogenesis, saltation, catastrophism, mutationism, structuralism, vitalism. These are apparently all different theories of how life has
That's a
evolved.
lot of isms.
I love that they call all of these theories. That's one of my favorite things.
I just, they're calling theirs a theory.
I know.
The Genesis theory.
Right?
So they automatically just skip like what a theory is and put their stuff on par with the actual theory of evolution.
Yeah, because they know people don't know what. They don't know how people use the word theory, and they just use the buzzwords theory. Sounds
Yep.
sciencey and fishy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what.
And there's just enough ambiguity behind it that they can say, well, see, it's just a theory.
And average people don't know how theories used in science. So like, yeah, theory. It's like, oh, be quiet.
People and their
You're a theory.
conspiracy theories.
I think the conspiracy are the conspiracy theories.
That sounds like a
Mhm.
conspiracy.
Okay, I just have to point something out really quick. This question, the other frameworks for evidence, which offers a basis for an understanding of how life got here. Okay, evolution, as we have kind of discussed, is a theory of how life has evolved on this planet, how life today got here, right? Like, how did everything look like this, and how it could have come from a singular point, right? I just want to go to the next chapter.
That's
Oh,
where
we're so close.
That's where they're good at how they position their words and how they say things. When they say how life got here, they're talking about all of existence of everything. And when they think that when people talk about evolution, is explaining how all of existence came into existence,
Right.
and that's not what it's doing.
So the actual answer to number 27 that has not been mentioned is abiogenesis. Hey, how abiogenesis happened? That's what they want to know.
Good job,
Yeah.
brother. You're really on
Thank
it
you.
tonight.
Thank you.
So that's the end of this chapter. I do just have to say the next chapter is what does Genesis say? Not what are the experts disagree about Genesis like they started.
They're
the
done
last
with
chapter.
that. That's all done. That's all now. It's all just going to be JW theory.
Oh, that's the good stuff. I want to hear all this other stuff you've been. That's boring.
I know.
Mhm.
I just want to
I'm
look
ready
at
to
this
hear the
first.
truth.
I just want to look at this first one because we just saw that other question, which was like, yeah, but how? How did life get here? Okay. And in this chapter, as they start off saying, as with other things that are misrepresented or misunderstood, the first chapter of the Bible deserves at least a fair hearing. Yeah,
At
I know, right?
least. At the very
The
least.
need is to investigate and determine whether it harmonizes with known facts, not to mold it to fit some theoretical framework. Also, to be remembered, the Genesis account was not written to show the how of creation. Rather, it discovers major events in the progressive way, describing what things were formed, the order in which they were formed, and the time interval or day in which each first appeared. So they're saying that Genesis doesn't say how life got here.
It covers major events in a progressive way, describing what things were formed. So it doesn't show the how, but it describes how they were formed. Huh? The
Thank you,
fuck?
Jonathan.
What?
Jonathan has it.
Sounds similar to something else.
Is it that one?
Who is
Finds a way.
Oh.
Yikes on bikes.
What were you saying, Tyler?
I was, just had just a moment of just like thousands of years later, and I still here. Why am I?
Right?
Who thought?
Like, come on.
5,000, whatever, thousands of years later, we're still arguing.
Well, brother Rickshaw, if you remember from the first chapter, we had a question that said, "Why is this important?" Number 10 on page 11. Why is it important to consider these matters? And that's because this information could prove to be greater value than you may yet realize. And that's all it fucking says.
I'm glad you. Thank you, brother. You reminded me. I had a momentary lapse, but I'm
I
back.
appreciate you being
Alright.
prepared.
Thank you.
I was devil. You got in my ear.
I know he does that. We have to watch out for it, brother.
Jehovah.
We gotta get
Satan
him
Swift,
some Kingdom
but-
melodies.
Y'all don't have no.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all got Kingdom melodies.
Yeah,
That's what I
Oh.
call them.
Oh, yeah.
Melodies.
Perfect
They're
vein.
so
Mhm.
mellow. They're very
They are
mellow.
Oh, they'll
melodic.
put you right to sleep.
I did go to the Church of Christ, and it was pretty boring.
Mm. Yeah, we're
So
all
book
about
study was
boring.
my favorite because we didn't do the singing. We didn't do all the formalities. Like it was like show up at somebody's house, eat some cookies afterwards. It was all
Yeah.
about the mingling. Hurry up, let's get this over with. We'd be annoyed if somebody started dragging it out because we really just wanted to talk about movies when it was over.
Yeah, I
Right.
wasn't supposed to be watching those.
Yeah, but
Naughty.
the elder had them, so it was okay.
The elder. That even sounds.
The elder.
I wish I would.
Dan S. Isn't it also impossible?
The elder.
Impossible for nothing to exist.
We are
That is
nothing.
such a good question. interesting question in my mind. I have come to the conclusion that nothing, the concept of nothing, is probably nonsense. Um, obviously, there's something. So,
That is a good question when you think of it that way. Like, yeah, something. Jizz, sign
well, there's different
space
definitions of
jet
nothing
jelly.
in science too. Like one definition is just like empty space, and then another is empty space, but there's also no time. And then another is there's also no time, but there's
Maybe
also
empty
no
space is
laws.
just a gigantic womb.
Looks like you about to find your way back to Jehovah, Dobstopper. Keep it up.
And then this Lawrence Krauss has a book about if there's no space, no time, and no laws of physics, then how a universe could come into existence. So, and the idea of nothing is probably just nonsense, in my opinion.
The kitty.
It would seem to
I
be.
like. I think that's interesting. I got some dark matter between my legs. But
Oh, nice.
Checked out.
Did they make cream for that?
All right.
I'm
Well,
sure
I'm
they did.
excited to dive into the Genesis chapter a little more in depth next time because
Yeah.
I think this is where the fun really begins because we get to
I love
apply
Genesis.
all of those standards of evidence that they laid down before,
Right back.
and we're gonna use the same template moving forward.
Mm.
I
wait,
like
did they
that
say
we
we
can
weren't
turn it
allowed
right
to do
back
that?
on them, hold them
That's it.
accountable to their same argument. Because I like to do that with Christianity and like apologetics. Like, okay, you just use this logic. I'm going to just flip it right back onto.
That's not how it works.
Guys,
No,
they're
it
going to
is.
call
It's
us enemies
exactly
of
how
God.
it works. Everything is a mirror, and you just mirror it back, and you just mirror into infinity.
Y'all just want to sin. That's all. Y'all just want to sin so bad.
Preaching against God.
I do. That's all I want to do. This is all just a sin.
Because I can't believe in God and sin at the same time. I have to justify it publicly.
But you have to justify your sin?
Yes, to everybody. Because that then makes it okay.
Okay.
Because I ultimately believe a God exists, so
Oh, do
I have
you?
to get through all those loopholes.
Is it on a Mobius strip?
Probably. Probably.
Make it more complicated.
I hadn't considered all that.
That's
where he actually
scary.
came from. I just assumed he existed because people told me.
I like the idea that we make that sometime in the future we end up going back in time and recreating the universe or starting the Big Bang over again, and then it's just a cycle.
The cyclical universe. I hate to use the word theory, but I think that's
I wouldn't be sitting on
technically
this
what you would
call with
search.
y'all again while y'all trying to convince me of Jehovah again. Return like this.
There'll be a new
Yes,
Jehovah.
Tyler.
There'll be a different Jehovah.
Tyler, I've thought about this before, and yeah, I had the same reaction. I'm like, oh, if that's true, I'm so upset about it.
At least I won't remember. Maybe this is my 1,000 go round. I just don't remember.
Oh, it would actually be your infinite go around if it's true.
Okay.
Yeah, you've already done this.
I feel like
infinite
we
amount of
are
times.
stuck in some kind of loop, though, man, because everything just continues to recycle. It rinse, recycle, repeat. It's
one of my favorite Star Trek episodes.
Yeah, it's. Well, I'll say this: I'm happy to be able to spend some of my eternity with you three.
Absolutely, yeah, man. That makes it so much worthwhile. Honestly, y'all are a delight, and the spirit of Jehovah, just being upon us like this really makes me feel so united. Like I just see myself and y'all reflecting back at me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to keep this callous on my heart down.
But Jehovah can change your heart. Did you know that? He
we're
changed
gonna
the heart of the Pharaoh. So he can do it for you too.
But I think that's violating your free will.
Well, we're not going to discuss that. That is against God.
We're gonna kick that can later down the road.
Somebody said let's close with prayer.
Oh,
Who's gonna do
Dear
that?
evolution.
Who are we praying to? Satan. If we pray to
Evolution.
Satan, I'm down for evolution as like a egregore. Is that like I can do that?
pray to your favorite fossil, dear Arcturus. Thank you for sacrificing your life so that we have science to look at in the future. Thank you.
Alien Jesus.
Yeah, pray to
Alien
alien
Jesus.
Jesus. I'm down to pray to alien Jesus.
We
Thanks,
need alien
y'all.
Jesus right now.
Thank you for that picture too, Jonathan. He's the one that sent me that alien Jeebus or whatever that was picture.
It's very nice.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. I hope it's not too boring. I'm having a good time. So
No,
Yeah,
I had
so-
a really good time. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm sad. I'm in between, but it's cool.
You still not convinced? We've not convinced you yet?
Now maybe this next chapter look like as promised. All
It
this,
does.
Don't
all
make
this
up your mind
garbly
yet. It's only chapter 3. Hold out
Yeah,
a
we're
little.
gonna get into the Bible with the meat.
cow away.
It's really delectable. You're gonna like this spiritual food is gonna fill your little tummy yummy, and you're not gonna get dysentery. Okay.
Bravo.
And I don't know much about creation, so I'm gonna have to be quiet in this next chapter myself.
Well,
Not
you
keep
can,
things
you
dragging.
can help me try to visualize what they're describing because I struggle with picturing what the early universe and Earth looked like. So
Oh,
do some
right.
learning, some good deep learning. Nice
Well,
and
I
deep and
do.
good.
I do recall that plants were here before the sun was.
don't give it away. Don't spoil it.
Don't you dare say the order is not correct. That's just heresy.
Yeah, that'll definitely
Blasphemy. That's
get
blasphemy.
you burned.
Bro. I'm gonna have to tell somebody on you. Tell
Alrighty.
people your real last name.
Take your
It's
meat Bible
Dobstopper.
and get out of here.
Get me
All
disfellowshipped.
right, y'all. Thanks so
Meat
much.
Bible.
Are we doing this next week?
I
So
hope
far,
so.
we have made this every other Thursday because for some reason we can't get our shit together. and by
But
we,
but
I
the
mean
other
me.
Thursday, but
So.
the other Thursday is I'm gonna be
Somebody's
preoccupied.
holiday, white people's holiday is coming soon.
Oh, is there a
yeah.
holiday?
It's alternative
That's
chicken
right.
day.
And I confess
Yeah.
I struggle to care.
Alternative chicken.
It's where the day we let the chickens rest
Thanks
Yeah,
for
I'm-
fucking up the
Day
world
before
day.
the
for the
day.
service they put in throughout the year.
I'm starting to kind of dislike pork, but I would still rather have ham than turkey, just because I don't like turkey.
Yeah,
I like
turkey is
turkey
I'm
pretty
not
dry
really a
though.
fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's sinewy. I'm not a fan. Not a big. I mean,
Yep.
it's all right, but
I got
Nah.
chased by a turkey as a kid, but that's life.
I used to get chased by wild turkeys all the time. I got videos of it. Oh,
I used to get chased by my grandpa after he had wild
he
turkey.
did. Oh.
Jeez, Dobstopper.
That is not funny. I'm so sorry for laughing. but I caught me off
Oh
guard.
man, that's some dark humor there, buddy. Damn, that's great. I enjoyed that.
I'm
You see,
depressed.
outwardly nothing, but internally,
Enjoying it? Yeah, I know. That's how I am too all the time.
it was a wild turkey.
Well, next week is the 16th. Do we want to aim for that?
I can do the
Yeah, I
six-
think that works.
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
can do
Sounds
16.
good.
All right,
Let's
y'all.
do that.
We'll
We'll
be
come
back
back.
here
You heard
next
it,
week
everybody.
then.
We'll be back next week.
All right. See you next week for another episode of The Worldly Perspective. Do any of y'all want to say where people can find you online?
Nah. Here.
Here.
TikTok.
Here. Okay. You can find us
here.
here.
I'm
Thanks
here.
for watching, y'all. Seriously, we love you. Have a great night. See you next time. Bye. Okay.